whoa. So I recently watched Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, and it really changed my expectation of the movie. At first, I thought the movie was something trash, like all the other money-making Marvel movies that lack any plot or common sense whatsoever. But this movie is definitely not one of them. This video is gonna contain spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, be sure to watch it and then come back. So let's get into the video. First of all, it's a great character. Starting with my favorite, we have Dory. I'm sure I'm not the only one who favors her because she is an absolute scene stealer. I mean, oh my gosh, that first scene where she transformed into a bird, then into a cat, then into something else I can't remember. I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. She kind of reminds me Monkey King from the Chinese fantasy Journey to the West, where he can transform into 70 different forms. They said they were doing live action in 2016, but it never came out, so I was like, what happened? But then we got this, I'm like, oh yeah, that's it, that'll be enough. Now, Simon is a character that I initially did not like, but end up liking him almost as much as Dory once I see how strong his powers were and how valuable he is to the team. I mean, at first he seemed like this typical comic relief where we get in almost all movies, so I was like, yeah, we've seen him a bunch of times. But once I start to see how valuable he and his powers are to the rest of the team, and also he also struggles to believe himself. Despite being a comic relief, he also can be serious and focused if thrown into dangerous situations. That final showdown between Simon and the Red Witch, where they just fight with this massive hand, I was just like, wow. I mean, even my dad was like, whoa, 第四臂我 fight 是斗破. Now it's no surprise that Ed is a fan favorite because obviously he's the protagonist, he drives the story forward, and he's played by Chris Pine, so why not love him? But at first, like Simon, I was not really fond of his character just because I didn't find his humor to be that funny. I thought it was more like those cringy Instagram comedy skit humor where you only laugh because you know they're making a joke, so you're supposed to laugh. But when his eyes, that hologram scene where his eyes just go really big when the hologram stops working, and I was like, yo, that's kind of funny because I was not expecting his eyes to turn like those really creepy face memes, and also like the one from Peach Meeting thumbnail. I was like, that's actually funny because I totally did not expect that. Really, my opinion for him started to shift completely is when he decided to abandon his mission of saving his wife and decided to save Holga instead because he realized that his daughter is closer to Holga than to his wife. At first, I was kind of confused on why they would bother spending an entire movie of him saving his wife when we only saw like a few scenes of her. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm sure his wife is a nice lady and she deserves to reunite with her family. But the fact that Ed realizes that he's only trying to bring back his wife just so he can stop feeling guilty and not for his daughter, and decided to make the last minute decision to save Holga instead of her because his daughter has always been closer to Holga. I can't help but applaud. Now that's how you do a character arc. If you don't want to think too much and is in a rush. I'm sure the audience would also applaud for Ed if he ended up saving his wife, but it's just that we are more attached to Holga, so we want her to survive more than his wife because we already spent 2 hours looking at her being badass, so we're just more attached to her. Speaking of Holga, I've always been a fan of Michelle Rodriguez since Fast and Furious, so I pretty much like her since she first opened her mouth till her very last scene. The fact that she doesn't have like magical power like Simon or shape-shifting powers like Dory also still makes her very interesting and being this really tough, unbeatable warrior that still cares about her friends. her fight scene was just so badass. Though I'm not sure why she would put on a helmet in the middle of the fight. I'm guessing it's just to make stunt double less obvious, but I could be wrong though. On these we had Zing. Zing is a character that, like Simon and Ed, I initially didn't really like because at first he seemed like this symbolic character who knows everything, and when he was telling the group like how to get across the bridge, he sounded a bit over dramatic to me, like he was trying to sell people sulfur in like an ad where he was like, you must buy this, or your back will be broken forever. But then when he started fighting, I thought that was pretty cool. So, I was interested to see more of him. But in the second half of the movie, he just completely disappeared, and I can't remember why. So I was confused. I was like, what? Where did he go? And my dad was like, I don't know. He doesn't know either. So I was kind of confused, especially because he's on the front cover and the actor who played him is like famous. So I'm not sure why they didn't include him in the second half. Zeng's absence isn't the really thing that confuses me. I was also confused on why Ed took such a long time to break the rules when Holga finished way early before him and already took all the executioners once he freed himself. And also I was confused on why they didn't kill like Forge once they push him into the water. But I guess he wasn't much of a threat without the Red Witch. I don't know. Also, I was not sure why like Doric wouldn't transform into a huge bear or something, or maybe an eagle as they are escaping the assassins, which that eventually traps them. Because she could just easily like, if she was a bear, she could easily break the walls and escape. But I guess the writers didn't think so. Overall, I like this movie. I think it's got very great characters, a very light-hearted and simple plot that's very easy to follow. Like, this movie proves that it doesn't need an over-complex plot to make it interesting. I mean, I do really love rich backstories like Lord of the Rings, but I guess if you're gonna insert like histories, make sure that it's relevant to the plot of the character, Like we don't really need like a 10-minute long explanation of a creepy character voicing why everything the way it is about characters we don't even care about. Like there are parts of the movie where I was like, wait, what? How did they do that? But the truth is, it doesn't matter how. Characters can turn invisible because they can. And Holga throwing potatoes can be slow motion because the writer thought it was inspiring. Needless to say that my dad was actually more hyped than me when watching this movie. Like he literally stood up from his seat. That scene where Dory just shifted into animals. But this is a guy who likes Legend because he thought the special effect was cool. So I guess he's like that critic you can never trust because he'll just say it's good as long as the special effects of the film isn't garbage. And then anyone thought the Red Witch was played by Joey King. Like I legit thought it was her, so when I looked her up, I was like, oh wait, it's not her. At first I thought, does she do impressions or something? Then it's not her, so oh, that makes sense. Okay, that's my very quick thought. Not very quick, is it? My thoughts on the new movie Dungeons and Dragons Among Thieves. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Oh yeah, for anyone that's wondering, that's like Tianjin dialect, which is where I'm from. It's like very funny. It's a very funny dialect in Chinese, but so I'm hoping that it would also be funny in English and bring more subscribers. See you next time.